What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about whether you can raise chickens and ducks together. Now, obviously in my pen here I have a lot of birds, about 80 chickens total here, and then we have these 8 ducks, and they have been living together for probably about 2 to 3 months now, and 4 of these ducks are new, so they were just let in here recently. But I have had chickens and ducks together for probably the last 4 years. I've had chickens for almost 6 years now, probably longer than that. And these ducks worked great in my chicken pen. So I know a lot of people have asked me whether they work good together, if they ever fight or get anything, and I've seen people that can't have ducks and chickens together, and I think it's just all about the way you go at it and how you raise the birds together. Now on the chicken side here, what I generally do is I'll raise a batch of baby chicks, maybe 10 to 20 birds, and then I'll let them in here 3 to 4 months of age and let them finish growing up with the other birds, just so they get put in their place in the pecking order. And that generally works with all the different breeds of chickens, and they get along well. I have no mean roosters because I handle them quite a bit when they're young, so they're not mean to me and they're not mean to the other hens, and that works good together. Now ducks are a little bit different, but doing that system with chickens generally works. Now on the duck side, these guys always group together. They kind of form their own individual flocks within all the chickens. All the chickens kind of cohesively work together here, and they all get along, and they never really bothered the ducks. The only conflict I ever see between them is when they're eating, when I feed them the 2 times out of the day. And sometimes, which is pretty rare, one duck will get in a mashup with a rooster or a hen on top of the pecking order, like this girl over here. She's a pretty mean one, but some of those birds just insert their dominance among the ducks, just as if these guys were other chickens. And how I do that is I had the same system with the ducks. I raised them, put them in this flock. This duck up here in front gave birth to these 4 grayish crossbreeds with the mallards, and so it's kind of a family over here. And then this white duck over here, I've had her for almost 4 years now. She's an old jumbo pekin, and she's kind of like the mother of all these chickens because she's really nice to them, and she's really nice to the roosters. One of my roosters over here, this guy, she just adores him. She spends half her day with her, with this rooster over here when she's not with the other ducks. I made a whole video about her, but a lot of the times this guy will sleep on the ground and she'll cuddle up next to him in the winter, and they work pretty good together. I can say the most struggling part about having ducks and chickens together, which this might not be as big of a problem with the normal flock, but since I have so many birds, I have had this watering system for a long time. I've had probably 4 waters. These 2 are empty because I don't use them anymore. This is a duck pool I have set up with another one in the back of the pen, just so they can swim in it. But the main problem I've had is watering and keeping fresh water, because if you've had ducks before, you know that they will destroy water in sight. I've just filled this up 30 minutes ago, or an hour ago, and it's already foggy. It's already got dirt in the water from their bills because they were drilling the dirt over there. But I finally got this water system up this past week, which always has clean water, has those little nipple feeders in there with the little cups, so there's always a fresh supply of water, since these guys keep it half full, and it has a supply run up here. I'm going to add on to it soon because they're draining it pretty fast, since they exclusively drink out of this, and the ducks can fit their beaks in there. I've seen some of them drink out of there, but I'm keeping some fresh swimming water for the ducks, and they'll also drink out of that. Also have this little pond area that I'm going to fix up here in a few weeks, get it back running up. But that's the only problem I've had with the ducks. As far as feeding goes, I feed them the same thing as a chicken feed, just layer pellets and scratch grains mixed in with all their minerals and everything that the chickens need. But the ducks, they will forage more than the chickens. They'll go through all over this pen, get all the seed heads and eat around all those. Anything that the chickens won't peck around at, so their diet's pretty well intact on the chickens too. You can feed the ducks practically anything you can feed chickens. So that works pretty well together. Now, as far as the hen house goes, this is my hen house. It's pretty spacious. It's got a lot of roost area. As you know, ducks don't roost. They sleep on the ground. Sometimes I'll have ducks jump up in the nesting boxes to lay eggs, which is unlike them, but I got some pretty weird ducks. But ducks, they sleep on the bottom here, and I generally keep a lot of fluffy shavings down here for them to sleep in. And the ducks are kind of like night owls. They'll come in here later than the chickens, but I always lock them up, keep them away from any predators, because we specifically have an owl problem. But they'll sleep down here with that one rooster that I was talking about earlier, and a couple other chickens sometimes that don't like to roost. But my ducks aren't exclusively for egg production, but I'll usually get a couple duck eggs every day, and they'll just lay it on the ground here, and I'll just pick them up. And duck eggs are harder shelled than chicken eggs, so they don't break. But they don't roost, they don't use nesting boxes. I've tried to use dividers down here. It's just kind of a mess with my amount of ducks, and they don't really need them. So I'll just pick up their eggs down here, and they just need a good, safe filling spot for them to sleep, and they do good here with the chickens. Now, most people don't have this big of a chicken pen or a chicken run as I do, but I think it makes up for it with the amount of chickens I have. The ducks don't really get picked on. I see a lot of people saying how you can't have ducks and chickens together, but there's always a way you can find out how to do it, because, like I said, they kind of form their own little group here, and ratio to ratio, it's only like 1 duck per 8 chickens too. So if they were to get bullied, they would. And they work pretty good here. I've also got some chicks in here that will be out with the main flock in a month or so, and I've never had a problem with the grown ducks picking on these guys. They're actually pretty nice to them. If they get picked on, it's going to be from the top guys in the pecking order of the main flock of chickens. So to summarize here, I'd say 100% yes, you can raise ducks and chickens together. You just gotta work out the kinks here and there, but you shouldn't have too many. And I think you can have a flock that works great together. You can get a little bit of duck eggs mixed in with your chickens, or however you want to do it. But thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Make sure to share videos with your friends, and I'll see you next time.